I'm watching the Byron Scott podcast, and they about to have another weird conversation about LeBron and Kobe wouldn't do that, and Mike wouldn't do that, and they just got through naming all of the teammates Kobe had through his bad seasons, then the changes that were made for him to get back to the NBA Finals. Let's listen to this, man.
Okay, so now, what's the key component in all of this? You're saying all those names, right?
Yeah.
Most of these players you mentioned, most of these people out there listening don't even know who the hell they are or were.
Slava and
You didn't
Van
mention
Dyke.
not one Hall of Fame player.
Not one.
Not one All-Star.
No, just Kobe.
Not sure if they're familiar with the situation, but Pau Gasol was an all-star, and he is in the Hall of Fame. Don't know if they knew that. Just want to throw that out there.
That's what I'm saying. Man, y'all got to stop, man.
So again, that's why he was frustrated.
Yeah.
That's why he went to the front office and said, "Get me some help," or trade me, or he might have said, "Just trade me,"
And
knowing
he's
in
not-
his mind that he just wants help. And you know, like you said, that's a huge difference.
And I
Not
don't
one
bel-
All-Star, not one Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I don't believe back then he was saying, go get me all-stars, go get me Pau Gasol. He didn't say, I just want some quality type players. It was almost like a call to the scouting front office saying, yo, y'all need to do a better job scouting and making decisions. Okay, this ain't working. And so to me, that it was a lot of that. Whereas, again, with this argument that we're having, y'all
Kobe said on a radio show that he wanted to be traded. And he also mentioned years later that him and Vanessa was in Chicago looking at schools for their kids because he was expecting to be on Chicago Bulls. This is well known and well documented.
are going to ready-made situations with 3 All-Stars. That's a huge. I love Kevin Durant's game. He's one of my favorite players. But going to Golden State Warriors, come on, that was overkill.
Yeah.
That was overkill. You know, so
He's
to
walking
me,
into
that's
a
the
ready-made
difference
situation.
again.
So that begs the question, OP, is there a difference between asking your organization to build a contender or leaving and joining one?
And I'm sorry for stopping it so much, but it's ironic that all of these players, you know, that they're talking about, right? They're going to talk about all of these players and how they're team hopping and they joining up to play with this player and that player. You get all of these NBA players in a room, you sit them down and have a conversation. Hey, man, in high school, who was on your AAU team? Oh, it was Tim Thomas. It was Vince Carter. It was Richard Hamilton. It was Kobe Bryant. Oh, we had the greatest AAU team of all time. But you get to the NBA and it's a problem. Now we can't, you see how backwards that is? You've been doing it. You've been trained to do this your entire life. Hey, how can I put my team or join a team that is in the best position to win? Let's link up, right? Now, everybody's going to have their different opinions about KD and joining the Warriors and joining, you know, the Nets. But as you found out, 2019, anything can happen. You still got to go out and play the games. KD gets hurt. Klay Thompson gets hurt. Raptors win the championship. Now that team is disbanded. Anything can happen. You still got to play the games. I'm not saying expect anybody to get injured, but you don't just lay down and roll over. You still got to go out there and hoop. The Warriors still got to go out there and be great in order to win. LeBron and D-Wade still got to go out there and be great in order to win.
Is there a difference?
What's your thoughts?
Yes.
It's night and day.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
It's night and day.
The one thing that I love what Kobe said is about, you know, LeBron and KD and, you know, those guys going to different teams, something that he would never do, right? Because like you heard him say, he said, listen, if the ship is sinking, I'm not going to jump off the ship and swim to another one. Basically, I'm going to go down with the ship. You gotta be there during the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
You know, but again, that's his opinion. You know, and that's his prerogative.
That's a weird ass metaphor, but
Yeah, I know. Jump off the ship.
ain't drowning.
Right. but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and bottom line is KB was just totally different
Mm-hmm.
than most guys that's ever played in this game.
But that's a great point. So people, that was Kobe Bryant. everybody's going to have their own opinions and feelings. Just like I said the last episode, LeBron is a grown man that can make any decision he wants. We don't need to really
It's his
discuss
prerogative.
it.
Yeah, it's his
It's
prerogative.
just fodder for podcasts. At the end of the day, it was his decision. When he went to Miami, his decision. But we do have a right to, if we want to critique or talk about it, we can. Just like y'all have a right to respond. Either way, gentlemen, ladies, a debate is just a damn argument with rules.
So, OP, you mentioned something a second ago that just brought up a different question for me. You said, you know, your friend is over here. your buddy that's playing is over here. How much does that play into players' decisions on going to a certain team or trying to force their way into a certain team?
Well, that's the generation we're in right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's lovey-dovey, kumbaya.
When did that change?
Because they all became so friendly. Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson were the best of friends. Remember, they gave each other a kiss on the cheek. They never joined forces.
Yeah.
All right, let's set the fact that contracts and deals and all of those things were way different in the air. Let's set that aside. Magic Johnson had no reason to go and team up with Isaiah Thomas because he had the greatest center of all time in his front court. He was playing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There was 2 players in the top 10 on that Lakers team. Kobe had another top 10 player on his Lakers team. Like, what are we doing? Kevin Durant had a top 10 player in Golden State that he was playing with. Like, all of these dudes are getting irritated because Kevin Durant did what he did, LeBron did what he did, and they're saying Kobe would never do that. Kobe didn't have to. He already had Shaq. There's key differences here.
They could have easily said, yo, man, imagine you and me against this league. They didn't do that because the competition was the driving force. Now, these guys, I don't think they have that anymore. I'm not going to go spend the night at my friend's house the night before a game, and I got to play against you. Patrick, you and I are good friends. We fought every game. Every single game we played against each other, there was something going on. After the game, hey, man, dinner?
Right. Game over.
We can do that.
Right. I love your point with Magic and Isaiah, but they would have never joined teams anyway because they played the same position.
The same position.
You know what I'm saying? So that one, we knew how much they loved each other. They had
Magic was 7 feet 100.
but he still was a point guard, right?
Still had that ball in his
Yeah, he
hand.
still had that ball. So Isaiah and him together on a basketball court
It would have never worked.
probably wouldn't have meshed as well. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying with that one.
So, OP, you mentioned, KG,
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. I apologize. And now I'm thinking of KG and the Boston, the big 3 that they had as well in joining forces. And we're talking about LeBron as well. Those players, Kevin Durant, KG, those players are not considered amongst the GOATs. Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan.
First of all, why does this dude talking sound so nervous? Boy, spit it out, man. Go on.
Those players are considered GOATs of the NBA of all times. 3 out of 4 of them stayed with the same team pretty much their whole career, with the exception of MJ going
Washington,
because he was trying to do ownership type stuff.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' thought process on LeBron chasing it? And can 2 things be true? Can you still be the greatest player of all time, but still go to different places and chase that ring?
Well, I think most of us, especially in the basketball arena, most of us judge LeBron based on the guys that you just mentioned. And I'll throw one more guy in there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, captain.
you know, and he
Goats.
got traded from Milwaukee to LA, right? So 2 teams in his whole career. MJ, 2 teams basically, you know, in his whole career. So when you judging LeBron, you're looking at the greatest players of all time and what they did at those organizations. They never basically never left, right? So I think he gets judged pretty harshly because of the fact that he's bounced around. What is this, his 15, something like that?
Well,
Cleveland,
you count the couple
Miami.
in Cleveland.
Now they're gonna go on into this whole spiel about LeBron changing teams and you know how in some people's minds that kind of plays into the GOAT conversation and it changes the GOAT conversation for him and versus I just have a question. All right, if anybody can answer this question for me, let me know down below in the comments. When LeBron changes a team, has he ever not won a championship for the team he went to? Has that ever happened? Do we have a track record? So if LeBron goes from Cleveland to Miami, did they win a championship? They got 2. When he goes from Miami back to Cleveland, did he get a champion? All right, they beat a 73-19. When he goes from Cleveland to LA, did they win a championship? Even though they want to call it a Mickey Mouse ring, he has a ring. Okay? The Lakers still hung the banner. It's a championship. They still got it. So every time he changes a team, they win. So why are we holding it against him, the fact that he's changing a team? What did you do when you change teams? That's what matters, man.
No, you got to come. Yeah, twice in Cleveland.
Twice in Cleveland.
Miami, the Lakers, and now Philly, right?
That's
look at the history of the NBA. Most great players that are considered the greatest, you know, even Will Chamberlain. You start Bill Russell, you start going down the line. Most of those guys play with 1 team, maybe 2.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the standard that we're holding him up on is probably sometimes a little unfair because of the fact that, you know, those guys, again, they make their own decisions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And LeBron, you know, like it or not, you know, he's able to go to this team, this team, this team, this team. But I think when you start to really kind of unravel everything, that's not what great players do.
LeBron has
I don't like the idea that we're going to take from a player's legacy because they changed teams or went to a team you don't think they should have gone to. Again, the jump ball happens. There's zeros after 4 quarters. What happened from the jump ball to the zeros at the end of the 4th quarter is the only thing I'm really judging. When you go to the Golden State Warriors, it's not a done deal. Remember, they won 73 games last year and lost. You still got to go in there and hoop. Did he hoop? The man averaged over 33, 34, 35 points a game in the NBA Finals with LeBron James looking back at him. You went and did that. If you look at the career, I think he's averaging, 33 or something like that in the NBA Finals versus LeBron. Like, you still got to go and play the games. So switching teams is not no guarantee that you're going to win. I don't like the idea that they get penalized for switching teams or the team you go into and nobody ever discusses the performance on the court. You can make the case for Kevin Durant. Hey, things got easier when you joined up with Steph. You can make the case with LeBron. A little bit easier playing with Kyrie Irving than Mo Williams. It's easier playing with Dwayne Wade versus Lonzo Ball or, you know, something like that. So you can make those cases. What did you do? What did you do at the greatest of levels when it came time after you switched teams? You won championships. Cool. That should be the focus when we're talking about the greatest players to ever play, especially in the top 10. Get this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments, does it hurt LeBron's legacy? Does it hurt Kevin Durant's legacy with them switching teams so often in their careers? That's one more for the good guys.